Have you ever seen the movie The Matrix? I'm going to assume you have, because if you watch my channel, it means that you probably smoke a lot of weed. And who smokes weed who hasn't seen The Matrix, right? So there's a scene in the movie where Neo, the main character, is walking through a crowded area. And there's a bunch of people in like black suits and white shirts and black ties. And all of a sudden, a beautiful woman in a red dress walks by. And Neo looks at this woman in the red dress. He gets all distracted, turning around to see her. And when he turns back around to face forward, there's a man with a gun pointed at his head. In the movie, Neo was learning a lesson. It was a training simulation to not get distracted by things, or you might miss the threat that's right in front of you. And this reminds me a lot of cannabis, except cannabis could be paralleled to the woman in the red dress, except cannabis is wearing a green dress, okay? For myself, for a lot of people that I've worked with over the years struggling with cannabis substance use, cannabis is nothing but a distraction, all right? It's a distraction that we think is going to be helpful, but it winds up distracting us from the things that we actually tend to care most about in life. Our health, our wealth, our relationships, and in many cases, if you have a faith basis, a person's faith background, right? We use cannabis as a drug to distract ourselves from the stress, the anxiety, the social pressures, whatever it may be, physical pain, and it winds up distracting us from so much more in life. And the threat with cannabis, the very real threat, is you're consuming cannabis, distracted by the woman in the green dress. Well, all of that potential that you had in life just starts to pass on by. You never take advantage of that potential. That's the threat, right? It's the threat is quite literally missing a lifetime of achievements and goals and accomplishments and relationships and things like that. Cannabis is very much the woman in the green dress. And you got to realize something about this woman, okay? She doesn't care about your relationships. She doesn't care about your finances. She doesn't care about your physical health or your mental health. She doesn't care about any of those things, right? At least with an actual woman, you would get some type of feedback, some type of connection, right? But cannabis, it's like these plants. It's not, I guess technically it's a living thing because it's a plant and plants are alive. But it's not a living, breathing thing that can actually give you something, okay? It's not. And so many people treat it like it is. You can change this, and you can change it. I've helped people stop in as little as 48 hours. Even the worst people have been consuming cannabis for years on end, right? I've seen them be able to quit in as little as 48 hours, really. All you have to do is look the other way, right? So you're staring at the woman in the green dress. You're missing life, you're missing out on opportunities, and all you have to do is look the other way and focus on the things in life that actually need your attention. And what happens is when you quit, you zoom out of that tunnel vision, because cannabis can very much create tunnel vision for people. And once you zoom out of that tunnel vision, you start to see the bigger picture, and you start to see the opportunities, the relationships, literally the things right in front of you that have been there the whole time that have just been waiting for your attention again. They just needed you to focus on them a little bit. And it can dramatically change your life, right? I struggled with a cannabis substance use disorder. I was also addicted to nicotine, stimulants, and pornography for about 9 years of my life. And once I stopped using those things as distractions, and once I started to become obsessed with building the life that I wanted, everything changed. And I've seen this change for literally hundreds, if not thousands of other people I've helped quit. So real quick, I put a link in the video description. If you're a high-level professional, maybe you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, a high-level executive, something like that, an investor, we have a science-backed method that has a 98% success rate at helping people quit nicotine and cannabis in as little as 48 hours, privately, without disrupting your public life and image, and no group meetings, no lifelong commitments to, sobriety and recovery, none of that stuff. Just putting down the drugs, focusing on the things in your life that actually matter, making those things become a reality and moving on. So if that interests you, I put a link in the video description.